Hi, I'm Kelly. Thanks for checking out my channel where we talk all things faith and fitness. In today's short video, I'm going to give you 3 tips for becoming a happier person. Let's just start here. Happiness is found when you give it away. The world is going to tell us that happiness is found through self-care, self-gratification, self-love. All these things are important. And of course, God wants us to care for ourselves. God wants us to love ourselves. But happiness, true happiness, is found by loving others. True happiness is found by serving others, not through self-gratification. When we focus on serving others, we shift our focus from what do I need, which generally leaves us thinking about the things that I lack, to what do they need and how can I be a blessing? How can I be of service? How can I be of help? And this simple shift in mindset goes a long way. Because right away, it turns off the what do I need? What am I missing to make me feel more happy? What am I lacking? It shifts your focus from that, and it turns your focus rather on being a blessing to those around you. So first of all, let's just lay the ground rule that happiness is found through giving it away. It's found through self-sacrifice, not self-gratification. And it's found when we shift the focus from what do I need and what am I lacking to what do others need. Okay, so we're starting there. We've got that done and said. Happiness is a choice, and we need to make that choice on a daily basis. So a few tips that I have for happiness. I'm taking this all, what can we learn from Paul as he wrote the book of Philippians in prison, what we often call the joy book, we could say the happiness book. And what are some of the examples that he set for us? So number 1, we need to view our problems from God's viewpoint. Okay, that's what Paul chose to do. He saw that despite the bad circumstances, this was enabling him to spread the gospel. His circumstances in prison was a benefit to spreading the gospel. He was choosing to see his problems from God's point of view. And this is what we need to do in order to find true happiness. We need to try to see the bigger picture. How might God be using this difficult situation to grow my character? How might God be using this difficult situation as a blessing to someone else in my life? How might God be using the situation as some part in his plan? Now, I know that we can't see full and clearly what God's plan is. I know that we can't always come up with this answer, but just in simply choosing to do my best, to pray about, to pray for the ability to view my problems from God's point of view will go a long way in aiding your happiness. So the first thing we need to do is view our problems from God's point of view. What current situations, what current problems might you be facing that God is using to strengthen your faith, your perseverance, your love, your joy, or maybe even just your commitment to him? What current problems or situations might you be facing that God is using to strengthen you in your walk with him, to strengthen you as a disciple of Christ? Because if you allow him to do that during your problems, during your difficult times, rather than becoming bitter and upset and life is so unfair, but rather allowing yourself to grow in character, just as God would want, then you are setting yourself up to finding a deep inner joy and happiness. On that thought, tip number two is to allow your problems to be a witness and an encouragement to others. You never know who in your life might be dealing with a similar issue, who might be dealing with an issue that maybe leaves them feeling in a similar way, and how you coming alongside of them, being able to relate to them, might be a bigger blessing to that person than you could have ever realized. You don't know the ways in which those around you, believers and non-believers alike, might be able to see you and the way that you respond to life, the way that you respond to troubles and trials, whether they be big or small. And they see your faith, they see your perseverance, they see your strong, steady demeanor that isn't allowing yourself to just kind of wallow in self-pity. When others around you, believers and non-believers, see the way that you respond to life, how might you be an encouragement to them? How might you be strengthening them in their own walk? Your walk is a living testimony, and the way that you respond to problems can always be an encouragement and an example to others. And, to just keep in mind that you might just simply, maybe God is using this one issue in your life so that you can come alongside someone who has dealt with something similar to lift them up, to strengthen them. Sometimes being more relatable to others can go the longest way in helping others during their most difficult times. Just having someone to relate to. So maybe that's what God is doing with these difficult situations. Maybe He's allowing you to be relatable to someone. Maybe He's allowing your strength and your faith and your perseverance to lift someone else up. You might not even know who that person is, but God can use that situation. So another tip for finding true happiness is to allow any and every negative situation to be an encouragement to others. Whether that's because you're just being able to relate to someone and come alongside them, or you are just setting an example of faith and perseverance and strength. And finally, the last tip is that you do not allow others to dictate your happiness. Others do not control how happy you feel. You control your happiness. You choose to be happy or you don't. Others don't have that control over you. You are not seeking the approval of men. You are seeking the approval of God. Okay, you're not here to make every other person pleased with you, but you are here to serve and follow God, right? You are here to serve others, of course. Not everyone is going to appreciate it. Not everyone is going to appreciate you. Not everyone is going to respond to you the way that you wish that they would. But when you choose to not let others control your happiness, but rather to allow your service to God, to allow your obedience and how you walk with God, to find happiness rather in that, because you know that at the end of the day, you are seeking God's approval and not the approval of others, can go a long way. When you really stop and think about some of the negative feelings that can come into your life and into your mind that has to do with the approval of others, whether that comes through comparison and envy, whether that comes because you feel like someone doesn't appreciate you as much as they should. Maybe it comes because you allow other people's bad attitudes to rub off on you and pull you down. You allow other people's judgment of you to pull you down. So just take note of the extent to which you allow others to take away from your happiness. Happiness is a choice, and you can choose daily to find happiness in God. And happiness is going to be found when we serve others, but we don't find approval from others. We don't find happiness from our approval of others. Happiness is going to be found when we choose to view our problems from God's point of view, and when we choose to let God use our problems as a testimony and an encouragement to others. And these are all small and tangible and easy tips, ways that you can choose on a daily basis to just find a little bit more happiness and joy in the Lord. I hope that you do. This is all part of the Finding Joy series in Soul Strength Fit. I hope that you check out that program if you haven't yet. We really dig into the book of Philippians and finding joy and finding true happiness in God. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that some of these tips kind of spoke to you. Leave a comment. Let me know, is there one in particular maybe that God is just putting on your heart right now? Is there one in particular that you really feel like, yeah, this has been an area that I've been losing happiness and that I'm going to work on and improve my own happiness and joy? So that's it for now. I hope you join me in my next video, and until next time.